So right now, we're in the middle of a procedure. The president, frustrated with this issue, has asked his Attorney General Pam Bondi to release what he calls the pertinent grand jury testimony from cases involving Epstein and his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison. That information, however, even if it's released, will only be about crimes committed by Epstein and Maxwell, and experts say it will almost certainly not mention the other wealthy and powerful individuals who may have gotten away with crimes that they were not charged with. You're a former prosecutor. What do you think is responsible to be released?
Well, Jake, this has gotten to the point because of promises made by the president. By the way, another host of promises not kept, whether he promised he was bringing prices down, he has not, promised he would keep people on Medicaid, they're getting kicked off, and now promises that they're going to release these Epstein files made while they were in office, while the Attorney General was in office. Promises made by the man who is now the FBI director. So you get to a point, and this is how I view it as a former prosecutor, you have to protect the victims if you release documents. That's fairly easy to do. You just redact the names of victims, and you've seen documents like that before. But this has gotten to the point where they have just sown distrust in the justice system. They promised that these documents would be out there. They literally gave people binders that said Part 1, and now suddenly, with a whistleblower reporting that 100,000 documents were reviewed by the FBI to look for the president's name, they've suddenly pulled back and said, no, we're not releasing them. So to me, as a former prosecutor, there are times when you release things for the good of the country. This is one of those times, and you don't go and say, oh, we just got to see if a judge will let us do part of the evidence, part of the files that are over here in this grand jury proceeding after dissing judges forever. Give me a break.
I want to play something your Senate colleague Ron Wyden of Oregon said on the Senate floor earlier this week.
Somewhere in the Treasury Department, Mr. President, locked away in a cabinet drawer, is a big Epstein file that's full of actionable information. Follow the money details about his financing and operations that await investigation.
Julie Brown, the investigative reporter whose Miami Herald story in 2018 really brought this Epstein case back into the forefront. She says that file of financial records would be a trove of information in terms of finding other guilty parties. Do you think the Treasury Department should release what they have on Epstein too?
Like I said, things should be released. We should know what happened here. And it is a claim that this president has made time and time again, and the American people have the right to know what happened.
So President Trump posted on Truth Social Friday, quote, if there was a smoking gun on Epstein, why didn't the Democrats who controlled the files for 4 years and had Garland and Comey in charge use it because they had nothing, unquote. After the Miami Herald story broke in 2018, you said there was something not right in the Epstein case, but it's true that the president says there, Democrats didn't really seem to do anything about the Epstein files throughout the 4 years of the Biden administration. I mean, should you have? You sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Marsha Blackburn for years has been trying to get flight records and other information about Epstein released, and she seems to have been the only one on that committee trying to do so.
So the president blaming Democrats for this disaster, Jake, is like that CEO that got caught on camera blaming Coldplay, okay? Like, this is his making. He was president when Epstein got indicted for these charges and went to prison. He was president when Epstein committed suicide. And then there was another case, as you know, that continued during the Biden administration. But he was president back then, so all of us would believe they know what's in these documents. They know what's there. They've been claiming forever that they should be released. And it is the Trump administration that gave a bunch of binders that said Volume 1 to reporters just in the last month. It is the Trump administration that has made this promise that they're going to release it. So I am blaming Democrats for this. To me, I'm sorry, this is the people that have been fomenting this are right-wing influencers, members of Congress, people who have a reason that they want to know what's in there. They believe the president when he said there's stuff in there that people should see. Wall Street Journal, these are not bastions of liberalism or wild progressives that have come out and said the public have a right to know what is in these documents.